don't talk about it often, but I once tried to become a Koreaboo. You know, despite the cultural hatred between Japan and Korea, the fascination for those two cultures often merges within people, and I've seen more and more weebs getting into K-pop, so of course I tried to do that as well, following the trends and all that. Mind you, it was back when Shine still existed, and the #1 hit from Korea was Fantastic Baby. In the end, I listened to a fair share of songs, but never got too attached to any specific band. I don't think the issue was with Korean language specifically, though it probably made it less appealing in comparison to J-pop, in which at that point I understood the lyrics pretty well. The thing is that I never really could get into loving specific bands, no matter what country they were from, and because manhwa wasn't and still isn't much of my thing either, I just gave up on trying to get to know this specific culture in the end. But of course, when I see a brand new animation that gets a little bit viral, I need to check it out. I feel like it's my job, especially now that I make videos about all sorts of fictional stories. So, when I watched the trailer for Kpop Demon Hunters, which is an ass title by the way, I feel like with the concept they had, they could have tried to think of something more interesting. I knew that I was going to watch it, but I also was aware that I most probably won't like it. I'm pretty sure what caught a lot of people's attention from this project, not counting K-boos of course, who just saw K-pop in the title and were immediately locked in, was the animation. It is hard not to compare the style to Spider-Verse, especially when it has also been produced by Sony, and it should be taken as a huge compliment for any 3D cartoon really. But that's not all. If I were to compare the style of Kpop Demon Hunters animation, I would say it is quite a neat merge of Spider-Verse and Turning Red styles. I don't think that needs an explanation. If someone saw both of those movies, they know what I'm talking about. I really appreciate that it's not one-on-one copy and they are implementing different elements, but was I amazed by this artistic choice? Not really, because it's nothing new anymore, but still works well, so I'm not complaining either. The character designs are screaming KDA skins, and honestly when I first saw the characters on the poster before watching the trailer, I needed to check if maybe this wasn't another League of Legends animation project, cause one guy literally looked like Seth's skin, I swear. That's why I wasn't really impressed with character designs, because they didn't feel fresh. I'm not counting the creatures created to sell merchandise though. The crow and the cat are literally the best part of the movie, and I'm not even mad at Sony for creating such an obvious merch bait, because holy heck are they adorable. But enough of the technical aspects, let's get into the story. I gotta say, the plot is as basic as it gets. You've seen this story many times before: hiding secrets, finding kindred souls, who at first you think they are genuine but want to use you, but then they have a change of heart and turn truly genuine. But it's all too late, and it all leads to the grand finale that is, by the concept, very touching and heartfelt. Now that I said that out loud, I feel like I described the Tangled movie. It's not bad, okay? I think the trailer already didn't promise anything incredible, and I appreciate that the events have logical sense, but it doesn't bring anything new and refreshing at all. And I know what some of you think: the ending. I know, many said it was unexpected, it was sad, etc. I'm sorry, but I don't share your feelings. I think it was fine, but not as unexpected as some see it. I blame Philip Pullman and his trilogy, his Dark Materials. The ending of the books shaped my expectations for bittersweet romance endings, so it's hard to impress me now. One thing that I am a bit disappointed about is how we didn't really have time to get to know the girls other than Rumi better. I understand that the focus was solely on her, and it was her story specifically, and the movie is short, so there was not much screen time left for the others, but it kinda sucks that they have to directly tell us, hey, girl A has an issue with this and girl B has an issue with that, instead of making it a bit more deep. I don't know how many times I keep repeating that, but there is this rule of show not tell that applies to all the fictional stories, no matter in what form. No one wants to be directly pointed at the reason for characters' actions. We want to have clear enough dots that when we connect them, they will show us the full picture. At least that's how consuming actually investing stories with depth looks like. Then again, as I mentioned before, I didn't expect anything from this movie. I think the trailer showed it clearly that it's not going to be extremely ambitious writing. I was a bit confused how they tried to merge this silly teen humor with some quite serious topics, but I guess the target group for this movie were teen K-pop fans, so that probably fits their preferences just right. The jokes were awkward for me quite often, and mind you, peak humor in my eyes are poop jokes in Golden Kamuy, but I'm not gonna lie that I didn't chuckle at all, cause there were a few moments when I actually appreciated the gags. But of course, if it's a movie with a K-pop theme, we need to talk about songs. They were fine. I'm sorry, none of them really got to me. They felt like very typical K-pop songs that I've already heard somewhere, but maybe that was the point. Maybe that was a nod of gratitude and respect towards some classic hits someone who isn't as uncultured in this as me would easily notice. I guess Golden was the main hit for this movie, and I'd say it was for me that one track that stuck with me the most, but I feel like the moment TikToks from this movie stop showing up on my feed, I will forget about it as well. The only one I genuinely didn't vibe with was the Dway song. It was kinda weak in comparison to the rest of the bops. For a while I was wondering why none of the songs really truly stuck with me. Like, let's say Nobody Like You from Turning Red or Better Place from Trolls. But then I realized that in those two cases the songs have been repeated few times during the entire movie, while in K-pop Demon Hunters they had no time to do that. Then again, I feel like I am trying too hard defending the songs for not being catchy enough. I don't know anymore. I wouldn't say Kpop Demon Hunters is an amazing movie. It's definitely not bad either. It falls in this place of it's a chill watch that you will forget about in a few years, and when you get reminded of it, you'll be like, oh yeah, that was a thing. It was quite fun, but nothing more. That is not to say that it didn't have any potential altogether, and we all know how projects at Netflix, especially the animation ones, have a hard time out there, so I am glad to see new things still coming out once in a while, and I always try my best to support them by giving them a chance and watch them. And if you're like me and also love animation, you should try doing the same.